Uju, Anya, and the Dangers of Deliberate Half Education by Tope Fasua. Welcome to the news, and please subscribe to our channel. To get notified when we post hot juicy news updates, please click on the notification bell. It will be disingenuous to dismiss as useless and evil all the consequences of the British invasion of our land. In spewing out such hateful words against an old dying woman such as I heard the chief monarch of a thieving, raping, genocidal empire is finally dying, may her pain be excruciating. Uju only showed self-hate, and that can be seen in a narrated journey in life so far. Someone posted a picture with the lyrics of Chakadama's 1992 song Pretty Face, Bad Character, Murder, she wrote, but we did not join her in the hole into which she sunk herself with that comment. The United Kingdom, made up of England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland, has seen her own fair share of plundering. The history of the world could as well be written as the history of plunders from one society to another. Every nation on earth was formed by a group of oppressors, plunderers, enslavers, conquerors, whether from within or without. The history of Europe could be considered to be particularly bloody, perhaps simply because it was documented and made available for all to see and viewed. Elsewhere, the same situation may have happened as human beings evolved and developed. Indeed, I personally believe that with the often dubious involvement of England and its monarchy in the affairs of many other people around the world, we have ended up having a better world. At least I can write this today and make my voice heard over an emotive issue. Uju Anya herself became a global phenomenon with a single tweet. We now live in an age where some children at 10 have 20 million viewers on YouTube and Instagram. I believe that it is much better living today than at a time of dangerous, even if innocent, primitiveness, when we were largely vulnerable to the element. Africans should also understand that conquest is deeply wired into human nature and societies as they grew. It is a height of naivety and dishonesty to expect that we would have been left alone to develop at our own pace. Before the British, led by the English monarchy, made their foray into the furthest limits of the earth, they had too been raped and plundered by the Romans, the Scandinavians, Huns, the Saxons, the Normans, Normandy, France, and a few more. I was fascinated the other day as I researched the British monarchy to find out that they have German, French, Danish, and Greek blood, at least. Every English royal blood today is a mix of everything and everybody from Europe. Spain itself was once overrun by the Arabs, with Arab legacy still very much visible in their names and monuments, their looks, and of course their blood. British people who ran to the New World fled as a result of oppression in their own land. Many Scots and Irish also fled in the same direction. Many Dutch and Germans and later Italians went on indentured slaves who needed to work up to 10 years before they could be free. If Australia was started off as a colony from prisoners in the 18th century, the state of Georgia in the United States of America was a colony for bankrupt people from Britain who needed to work out their indebtedness. Ireland was the first country that the English colonized in the 16th century, the first country that they deemed needed to be civilized. They were neighbors, but for several centuries the Irish saw hell at the hands of the British, mainly the English. Hell ranging from the deliberate starvation to all sorts of oppression. The Irish only got part independence in 1922, just 38 years before Nigerian got ours. That happened part of Ireland today is known as the Republic of Ireland or Poblat na HÉireann. They have been making efforts to bring back their own language, Gaelic, to prominence. But the persecuted and oppressed British who fled the monarchy to the New World or today's United States of America, what did they do to the owners of the land there? Total dissemination using a combination of diseases and guns. Today, Aboriginal Americans and some places headed into colonies still. They were wiped out with smallpox and bullets for trying to protect their land and sovereignty. It is perhaps the worst ever carnage perpetuated in all of humanity. If Uju feels so bad about the English monarchy, her skin should crawl for earning salaries and living in the United States of America. The USA genocide was carried out mainly by the oppressed from Britain. It was an age where people survived the very hard way. But it does not end there. Europeans have always been at each other's necks despite their affinity. The rivalries among European nations led to what they called two world wars, leading to the death of at least 100 million people. With the formation of the United Nations, the world is meant to have said never again to such senseless orgies of death. But with the Cold War, of which the Biafran War could be part of, it is as if it was a turn of the non-European and American countries to decimate themselves and sponsor civil war of all kinds. The Arabs have also been at each other's necks. Different nationalities never saw eye to eye. It was death and plunder when they ran into each other. In Asia, the Mughal Empire, which is today's India, was a chaotic place where princes warred and did coup against each other. In those times, it was nothing to wage wars and kill everyone in sight. In the Bible, there are incidences where God was said to have commanded kings of Israel to kill and plunder everyone in a rival society, including babies, and the kings obeyed. Some were punished for sparing something or the other. The Chinese did their own. Zongo, as the Chinese called the land, was seen the Middle Empire, the center of the universe, sometimes interpreted as the buffer between heaven and earth, God and man. But the Chinese saw oppressions and genocide in the hands of the Japanese, and in more recent times, the British fought 3 wars with them just to be able to continue their opium trade. Imagine forcing opium on a whole country, addicting the people just because it could. The Japanese committed genocide against the Indians, the Chinese against themselves and others. Was Nigeria all innocent and holy until the British came? Did we know nothing about slavery and oppression? Were we always fair and equitable to each other? Very doubtful. Some societies, up to today, maintain a caste system almost like the Indians do, where you have untouchables, the lowest of the clan, the ones that should easily be the ones sacrificed for the gods. In some societies, a dozen people were slaughtered at will to accompany a ruler or important persons to heaven. What about Africa? Were we just here all good and innocent, blameless until the white man and came and upset our apple cart? Very unlikely. Before the British came, we had our own empires and conquerors. Sokoto was a slave depot of all sorts, even for decades after the arrival of a white man. Obafemi Awolowo documented in his autobiography how in the late 18th and early 1990, the people of Ijebu and Remo, where he hailed from, would fight endless and meaningless wars among themselves, one village to another. Slaves were being taken and sold from among the conquered. Awo wrote that it was a white man who forced to stop such senseless killings. The vast middle belt up to the northeast of Nigeria were populated by many colorful nationalities, many of whom destroyed themselves and have very, very bitter histories. This is actually very beautiful. People all know that I'm a lover of history. This is good, but I think we still need more of this. Sincerely. Yes, Anya came out and awoken the world, but I must say, she did it in a very, very unpleasant manner. All right, on this note, we have come to the end of the news. We say thank you for tuning in to